What's going on, people? Welcome back. OnlyFacts Sports Podcast, episode 42. If you're new here, this is the channel where we cover mostly football, boxing, only the facts, and any other sports, controversial topics, or just whatever's happening in the sports world that other man won't touch, other man won't deal with. We're going to talk about it here, blood. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you internet ready?
Bro, allow it. You know I'm not a massive bouncer fan.
Neither am I. Do you not see what I posted on my story?
No.
He's an informer, blood. I don't fuck with informers.
Yeah,
you know what I posted it on my story, bro. Pound Sterling said to him,
are you
a snitch? And he was like, I didn't snitch, I informed. So obviously,
but he was a kid, didn't it?
Okay.
I that's not why I just don't enjoy his content.
No. It's gossipy content, innit? Like, he obviously took aim at Shade Room just to start doing what Shade Room do. So it doesn't make a difference to me. But yeah, it is what it is. We got a lot happening this week. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be talking about Tyson Fury's return. That is officially announced. We've got a big fight this weekend. Teofimo versus Shakur Stevenson. That is going to, shake up multiple divisions potentially, depending on what happens. We've got Josh Kelly this weekend, which we're not going to be live for because we're actually going to be at the Copper Box in the flesh to watch what would have been Adam Azim's card, but Adam Azim's pulled out. So we're going to watch in the undercard. We're going to be with Rants and Bants over there. We're going to be talking about Turkey and Eddie. We're going to be talking about, obviously, Arsenal and Arteta's future as well. Just want to let the people know, do you know what I'm saying, what they're in for. Do you know what I mean? If you're new here, like the video, subscribe to the channel. One of the biggest names in boxing makes his return. The return that we kind of knew was coming.
Unexpected. And
Johnny Nelson said he was never really retired anyway. He just kind of took a break.
I mean, it is a long break, though.
How long was the break?
Maybe, when is he fighting?
I don't know, actually. Good question. If you had to guess.
Probably April, May.
Bless me, 11th of April.
Yeah. So
Right near my birthday.
That is, what, about 17 months, 16 months out the ring?
Yeah.
Which is a long time.
It is. How often does he fight anyway, when he's active?
I mean, he fought 2 fights in that year itself.
2022. He fought Francis Ngannou in 2023. That was the only fight he fought in 2023.
2024, he fought
Usyk twice in 2024.
Twice.
Yeah, I guess so. We knew this was coming. What do you think of Makhmudov as a return opponent?
Mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Because Makhmudov makes sense if you intend to have a longer game plan, like a longer plan. Like if you're coming back for like maybe 4 or 5 fights, maybe 3 or 4 fights, you wet your feet in with a Makhmudov and then you go for big money, big legacy after that.
Explain to me why that makes sense.
Because
as opposed to coming back for 2 or 3 fights, you say?
Because let's say he was just coming back for 1, 2, 3 fights. Look at someone like Pacquiao. You go in there and those 2, 3 fights have to be legacy defining anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? But
even if you're coming off the back of 2 losses.
Pacquiao
maybe not. Pacquiao what?
Pacquiao was coming off a loss.
Not back-to-back losses.
I don't know the fight before that, but I know he was coming off a loss and then he retired for so long. And when he came back, he had a plan of, I'm coming back for a big money fight, a big name fight.
I think Pacquiao and Fury are different though. I think Pacquiao only returns if he feels like he can mix it at the top level. I think that we've seen Tyson Fury return from retirement twice and come back against low level opposition.
But if you look,
I know you're going to say that's part of the rebuild, but that's very much what he does.
No, but I feel
like
that's his intention is every time he comes back, his intention is, and it's difficult because Tyson Fury says a lot of things and doesn't ever manifest. But his intention is to fight for at least 4 or 5 fights. Like if you're only fighting, if you've told yourself I'm coming back for 2 or 3 fights, Makhmudov wouldn't be enough for you to say I'm coming back for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I guess the AJ thing is obviously, maybe this fight would have been AJ, or maybe this fight would have been one before AJ.
It probably would have been,
not in the
for
situation
me, I think it would have been this fight and another fight and then 2 AJ fights.
It's a long way away. Even that would have been a long way away.
Not necessarily.
That means he wouldn't have got an AJ fight till next year. If he fights in April,
Yeah, no.
at earliest, he fights again.
But
he fights again in October, November. So then at earliest we get AJ fight March.
I feel like he's only fighting Makhmudov in April because he knows he can't fight. Because he would have what Fury can't do is go back to the time where he has big gaps in between fights.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if that AJ situation didn't happen, you'd have probably seen after AJ beat Jake Paul, like Tyson Fury would have been fighting this month, next month.
Yeah.
February, March, latest March.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And
then had a faster turnaround time to get to
faster turnaround time. I think he would have probably had an easier touch than Makhmudov first time. Second, he would have been a Makhmudov then straight in. Or maybe he would have had a Makhmudov, another fight of a Makhmudov level than AJ.
Yeah.
And I still feel like, though, the AJ fight would have had to be at the very earliest back end of the year, beginning of the next year.
I think it would have been next year. I don't think
because
it would have been this year.
For me, I don't think Fury can go off 18 months out of the ring and just go straight to the top level. He's just not good enough.
But is AJ the top level anymore? That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? It's not the same. You're right. If you're talking about the AJ pre-Dubois, maybe we're having a conversation. But the AJ post-Dubois is very, very different.
I don't know.
AJ post-Dubois and post-car crash is not even a different boxer. He's now an entirely different
person.
No,
but AJ would have then had to fight again. You know what I'm saying? AJ would have then had to fight again.
Yeah.
He would have had to fight in the interim. What does that mean? So I feel like with Tyson Fury, he's got, for me, I think there's 4 or 5 fights left because I think it's going to be him versus Makhmudov, him versus Wardley, him versus AJ twice.
You still think the AJ fights happen?
I do.
I think those fights are gone.
I think it should be, but I think...
You think the fight shouldn't happen, but you think
it will happen.
Why
it shouldn't happen.
Do you think AJ will want those fights, or you think AJ is kind of working off of a loyalty to the people around him?
I think AJ, in his mind, based on what I'm seeing, only knows boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's escapism, right? It's escapism.
And the 2 friends that passed away, rest in peace to them, man, they were people that AJ had plans with outside of boxing. And so any plan to potentially transition from boxing to outside of boxing for AJ may get pushed back because a bit of that comfort blanket, those people you were going to build with are now not there anymore.
Not even just that though. I feel like as other people won't understand this part, but you might. You know when you're financially responsible for someone and they grow for that person and that person's financially responsible for their family. That person's now gone. You feel obligated to look after those people.
I did think that as well. And I was going to say, I really don't want AJ going into a ring fighting for anyone that isn't himself.
Facts. But you got to understand there's a lot of money on the line, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I know where AJ is right now, the psychological manipulation that people can do. Like, Eddie's a good guy who's not desperate for money. So Eddie probably, if it was like a Ben Shalom, then it might be slightly different. But Eddie's got money. Eddie's got other top fighters. You know, he's got deals that he can make. So he wouldn't be putting that pressure on AJ.
I also feel like Eddie can make money off AJ elsewhere. I think if AJ were to solidly retire genuinely...
I don't know about that.
In 5 years' time, he could still go and do a Misfits fight and make a bag of money.
Potentially, but...
Do you know what I'm saying? So even if you're Eddie Hearn, not necessarily the families of the people around him that might be trying to make money off of him for right now. But if you're Eddie Hearn specifically, it's not even a case of I have to make money off you now. I think I'll be able to make money off you 5 years. But if you listen
to the way people talk, when Eddie Hearn says, when he bring any update on AJ, he always says, well, the last thing we're going to do is talk about him fighting right now.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that I find quite interesting. If someone says, or if a girl came in, or I don't want to say the girl who, but let's say she came in and she says, oh, how's Nick? Well, he ain't cheating on you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That like, we didn't even ask that.
Yeah.
But because you put that seed out there, I in a way...
I think it's different though.
It is.
Because if a girl asks you about me, that could mean multiple things. When people ask Eddie about AJ, they really only want to know about boxing.
No,
it's implied that they want to know about boxing.
No, the reason why you can't say that...
Man don't want to hear him and Parsons talk about their Dolce & Gabbana tracksuits.
No, but obviously it could be like mentally AJ's effed up right now.
He's not going to say that though.
Or mentally
he has to protect his investment.
Or he says mentally AJ's He's doing good, man. He's doing good mentally. He's in a good place emotionally.
But like I
But he
said,
just
in the
talks
last
about
in
fighting
the
straight away.
last video I saw, he said the same thing that I said. That's on Snapchat. AJ's posting his friends and that constantly, whatever. I don't think you can say he's doing well mentally because I think the evidence is clear that he's not doing well mentally. Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm not comparing AJ to Ryan, but when Ryan was going for his alien thing, there's no point Oscar saying he's doing really well. No, we can see this nigga's not doing well, so there's no point saying.
That should show you exactly what we're talking about, though. The fact that just because we think something shouldn't happen doesn't mean it don't happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, the more and more I think about it, I can see deterrence for why AJ shouldn't fight, but I can't see that AJ sees deterrence for why he shouldn't fight.
And if he does see deterrence, he also sees reasons he should fight to counterbalance
I
deterrence.
think that is way more. I think he sees more reasons to continue fighting because what we do see is he's still in the gym. Do you know what I'm saying? And he can get...
But for a man in his type of physical shape, he will get mental outlet from not being... From being in the gym.
That's what I'm saying.
Regardless.
When you can get solace and peace in a place, bro, you want to stay in that place.
Gym is not the same as going into a fight.
Bro, it's an easier transition.
I hear you. I think that's a mistake. From a boxer's perspective, I think that's a mistake to say, I need some solace, I'm going to go into camp. Go and train in Dagestan with Peterbiev and them. But don't go into a fight.
Of course. But here's why I say, you have to think about it from a financial perspective. I can see him faster saying, I'm going to go into camp and fight, than saying, you know what, let me focus on my businesses. I can't see him doing that.
Yeah.
I can't see him making that transition.
I get you.
Do you know what I'm saying? So if you're asking me what I see, I'll say don't fight again. But if you're asking me what I see AJ seeing, I think he's going to say, bro.
I think also, like, from what I'm hearing, these guys were around him, not just in the boxing capacity, in the business capacity. I think, to add to what you're saying, I think AJ feels more confident without these two brothers around him going into a fight than going into the business world.
I don't know. I don't know because one of them was his PT, I swear.
One's PT, one's his strength and conditioning coach, but they were still very involved.
Yeah, they were with him every single day.
Yeah.
When you're with someone like for me, like if let's say you were to die.
Mm-hmm. I could tell you were thinking of who to say, and then you thought, who's not going to be sensitive or spiritual about this?
Facts. Let's say if you were to die, yeah, and I do the podcast with you every single week.
Yeah.
The last thing that I'm going to want to do, well, it depends. You could think, well, is Shane going to continue doing a podcast without Nick? Or is Shane going to say, I don't even want to be in that environment because it's going to remind me of Nick?
That's my thing.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it depends on who that person is as a character. For me, I feel like looking at AJ, I feel like when he looks at the wider world, and I know this topic's about Fury, so when he looks at the wider world, I think he sees more things that draw him to boxing.
Yeah.
And that gives him some form of peace in that environment than the other way around. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like people don't know me only for, like out in the wide world, I can live a life because we're not connected as much. We're not big like Gilly and Wallow. Do you know what I'm saying? Where people know me for this. So I feel like escapism, right? I'm going to go to a world where I can almost run away from that.
Yeah.
And I don't think running away for that for AJ works. Yeah. But bringing it back to Fury...
This is slightly off topic with regards to the Fury and Makhmudov fight. I feel like Eddie has a much better grasp on global boxing than Frank does. Because Eddie went and got Franklin to fight White, and then got Franklin to fight AJ. And then once Franklin's been introduced to the British market, Frank uses him for Atoma. Eddie went and got Makhmudov to come and fight Dave Allen. And once he's been introduced to a British audience, now Frank's got him fighting Tyson Fury. I don't really see Frank going and sourcing this overseas
you're right.
talent. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
you're
you're leveraging the fact that Makhmudov is somewhat known to a British audience because of Dave Allen. Not that Dave Allen's a massive name, but he's a big enough British heavyweight name.
I think, honestly, that's perfect matchmaking.
Yeah.
I don't think Makhmudov has a chance in hell beating Tyson Fury, even on Tyson Fury's worst night.
Yeah.
And I think Makhmudov is a guy that Tyson Fury can look really good against.
Yeah.
Really good against. We've seen Makhmudov get stopped by Caballero. I think we've even seen Makhmudov get stopped by somebody else.
Italian guy, yeah.
I don't remember who he got stopped by, and then...
it's going to bug me.
Yeah, it's going to bug me as well. That guy with the moustache, I think he's got some big old... What's his name again?
Keep talking. We're doing a podcast.
Yeah, but I've seen Tyson Fury.
Vianello.
Vianello.
Yes.
Yeah, Vianello. So, is it Vianello?
Yeah. Guido Vianello. Yeah. It's the Italian brother, yeah.
Yeah, wherever. But I see a Makhmudov. So it's someone where he's also coming off a good win. He beat Dave Allen. So
An unanimous decision as well.
there's not going to be any fear of. There's not going to be no fear of loss.
Yeah.
There's no fear or upset or none of that. And Tyson Fury can get away with it because he hasn't.
Where will
fought
that
no one.
be? There's no venue announced yet. Tyson Fury comeback fight. Yeah, does that do a London venue or is that a northern fight? Makhmudov fought in Sheffield against Dave Allen.
I'd probably look to do it in some like Manchester.
Yeah.
Manchester.
Because it's been a while, I think, since Tyson Fury's fought
Yeah.
in the north. So that
I think it's been a while since Tyson Fury's fought. Period. I think in England.
Yeah.
I think his last fight in the UK was against Chisora. He had 2 fights against.
Yeah, Riyadh.
And Riyadh.
Yeah, and Ghani was Riyadh. Chisora, White, both in London, Vegas for his last comeback. Otto Wallin and all of that. That was all Vegas. Belfast when he came back, Pianetta. So the last one would have been Sefa Safiri with his first comeback after the Klitschko. That was back in 2018.
Yeah, so yeah.
So he's not fought in England
and the fights,
since then.
But here's an interesting thing. It's not with Frank. It's not with Frank.
Yeah.
Because that's not a Queensbury show.
Yeah.
That's a ring show.
Yeah.
Now, Frank might be the lead promoter,
Yeah.
but it's not a Queensbury show.
Yeah.
That, for me, is... I don't even want to talk about the fight, because I know Fury's going to win it.
Yeah.
But that's quite interesting for me. Do you not think so? Because Queensbury's got all these heavyweights and all of that, but it does tell me that, did Turkey do a deal directly with...
But he must have.
Then is that fight in Riyadh?
That's a good question. It can't be. Surely not.
No, but then why would Ring do that fight? Do you know what I'm saying? Why would Ring do that fight?
Yeah, because it will be a headliner, right? So it's
Exactly.
yeah. So
why wouldn't Queensbury do that fight?
Yeah.
But Eddie, for all Eddie's shit that he does,
and it's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix, not on DAZN.
This fight's on Netflix, not on DAZN.
Eddie still does big shows on DAZN.
Yeah.
He does the collaboration. Obviously, this week Shakur and Teo's fighting, but that's a big card. But he still does his shows on DAZN.
Yeah.
What's Frank's big show this year? What's his big show this year?
Well, he's got Wardley, right? So he will be looking to make a big fight with Wardley. He's obviously got a Toma. Toma's injured, so they've delayed the Franklin fight. They're the 2 big names that come to mind. What other big names? You wondering if my mic's on?
It's on. It's just kind of
okay,
flip it
cool.
up. Not up, but yeah, like... No, yeah, that's cool. You're going.
Yeah, what other big fighters does he have? Frank. He's got the heavyweights. Joseph Parker obviously is serving a ban.
Lawrence Okoli, Daniel Dubois. Nick Bull.
We need to talk about Daniel Dubois. We totally forgot about Daniel Dubois in the scheduling. Have you heard about Daniel Dubois?
Oh, him signing with Don Charles?
Yeah, Don Charles.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing still.
It is,
but
it's funny.
But yeah, I think that's we
have
have to look at that landscape.
The Tyson Fury thing's interesting. I mean, I wanted to talk about Turkey and Eddie. Do you want to get into that now?
Yeah, might as well, yeah.
Because for me, these men are just getting too comfy with Turkey, in my opinion.
Who's these men?
Eddie, Frank, all of these promoters.
I don't think so.
I think the American promoters, being more isolationist, are a lot more protective of their investments. I think Eddie and Frank let their guard down a bit much.
I think Frank does. This is a prime example.
Frank, you've given this guy access to Tyson Fury, and now he's doing a deal directly with Tyson Fury on Netflix, etc., etc. Tyson Fury again following the Anthony Joshua kind of blueprint, if you like, going and fighting on Netflix, whatever. Even though that was kind of following the Jake Paul blueprint. If you're Eddie, Jaya Pataya goes and signs with Zuffa Boxing, even though it's signed with Dana White, the money for that is coming from Turkey. So whatever fights you could make and your money is going to make, your money was not coming in this direction to make those fights with me.
I think Frank this is a prime example why Frank doesn't work, because if you got to renew a deal with DAZN at some stage, you want to make sure you have something to say this is what we produce for you. I think with Eddie is different because with Eddie, as we've seen with Bam Rodriguez, he's got matching rights. Eddie understands the market value of a fighter. So he knew Bam Rodriguez, go and get an offer from Zafar, but you have to come back to me. And if they overprice, then they overprice. With Jail Pataya, he let Jail Pataya go because he couldn't provide the fights for him. The difference with this is, I agree, I think they do. Oscar doesn't get too close to Turkey. Bob and Al Heyman doesn't even touch Turkey. Yeah. That's why he ended up having to get a Dana White. But Eddie understands business. He knew that Turkey wanted to buy a certain percentage of Matchroom as a company. But Eddie didn't want to give up the control and format of how he does his business. Hence the reason why he left. But every so often, Eddie still does stuff which I can't say, you know what? Eddie's business will always survive without Turkey.
Facts. No, I get that. But I do wonder if it's becoming a little bit awkward that at the very least, you're using some of the market information you're getting from me to go and position other people. Dana White, when you listen to him talk about boxing, clearly doesn't know anything about boxing, anything at all. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, did you hear like his promo run for the Zafar? But he's like, yeah, we're going to do some big things and yeah, it's going to be great. But it's like, this is all like from a boxing promoter perspective, boxing doesn't have the same characters as MMA. MMA characters sell themselves a lot better than boxing characters do, but in my opinion, MMA is a bit closer to like reality TV. I know a lot of people ain't gonna like that, but in terms of the characters, boxing has a lot more history, a lot more legacy, a lot more of that type of thing. The boxers don't have to sell themselves so much. And Dana White, being the figurehead, is not as good at promoting a fight as you would want someone to be, if that makes sense.
Of course.
Like, Dana White has never made me want to watch a fight that I didn't already want to watch.
But this is why, and if you ask me directly, I love the fact that Dana White has come into boxing. No, lies. I love the fact that there is another broadcasting company that's coming into boxing, in addition to Netflix and what Amazon are doing, that's going to produce content and are bidding. And I love that. For me, I know for a fact Dana White is just the face of this business. Yeah. Last week we had a conversation and I said I wanted to know the business model. Now I know the business model. Yeah. 1 week took me to figure it out. Yeah. When I saw that they bidded for Jail Pataya and they got him. They bidded for Bam, obviously staying with Matchroom. They bidded for Usyk, or they're trying to do the deal with Usyk. Now I know that they're trying to do that. I'm like, okay, Turkey.
It's basically what Boxer was doing, just with more money.
But here's the difference. You said it and you've alluded to it for since he first came in the game, where you said he's overpaying people with no staying. They had no staying power, so they're just teething money from you and going back. He didn't have a business model that could retain fighters. And
I don't know that this business model can retain fighters.
Here's the thing. If you look at the landscape of boxing, he couldn't do it with anybody else. Yeah. Because they're not going to change their model. Yeah. So when he tried to do it with Eddie, you're right. He did get close with Eddie. And Eddie was his guy. But he wanted, in my opinion,
relationship was capped.
It was capped.
Yeah.
With Zuffa boxing or Zuffa boxing, whatever you want to call it, there is no cap. So you might be right, and he might not be able to do it with his business model, but there's more chance him doing it with Dana than anyone else.
That's fine. The Dana White part, I understand. Dana White is clearly just a front man because he's bringing a certain audience, just like a boxer would bring a certain audience. Getting Dana White to be is no different to getting AJ or Andre Ward to be the face of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's no different because this guy's not a matchmaker.
Yeah,
you know facts. He's not getting on the phone to Jaya Pataya and looking at the landscape of cruiserweight. He's not doing that.
No.
I don't even know necessarily that Turkey is necessarily doing that.
No, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But you are right, though. Maybe Eddie made him help garner relationships with managers who can.
Correct.
So you 100%.
Because who's doing that? Dana White, when you listen to Dana White talk about boxing, it's clear he doesn't know anything about boxing. I don't even know if Dana White likes boxing, to be honest with you. We've seen him on podcasts, like with Joe Rogan, that's shitting on boxing a lot. Obviously, at the time, he was selling MMA.
He definitely ain't into matchmaking.
But he's not a boxing fan.
His first fight is against McCallion. Mm-hmm. I can guarantee you, he didn't, when he was negotiating with...
He never heard of McCallion before.
You know what I'm saying?
He don't know who that is. No.
Oh, I'm going to get you to fight with Zerdo and Bennett. He wasn't saying that.
No.
So there is someone who's doing that. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah.
It might be Richard Schaefer, because I know Richard Schaefer's now...
That would be good. That would be a credible name. But I think that, again, if it is Richard Schaefer doing that, I think you have him a little bit more in the foreground.
You mean like in the background?
I think in the foreground.
I think in the background.
You think so?
Richard Schaefer...
Because they need credibility. I know Richard Schaefer's a guy that works kind of in the shadows a little bit, but you need some credibility.
No, the reason... You're right, to a certain degree. But I feel like if... No
top-level boxer is trusting their career to Dana White in Turkey.
They might trust Turkey.
Their boxing career.
Bro,
no.
it's money, bro.
Turkey is, you know the famous Jose quote to Roman Abramovich? Have you heard the famous quote?
Just pay money.
Just pay the money. Do you know what I'm saying? But this isn't managing my career. If you are Inoue, if you are Bam, if you are not Usyk because he's in the cash out phase of his career, Canelo in the cash out phase, Crawford in the cash out phase. But if you're Inoue, if you're Bam, if you're Shakur, if you're Teo, if you're Devin, you're not trusting Turkey with your career.
It has to be someone, though. It has to be some, because
you might trust Richard Schaefer with your career.
Gaio Pataya has signed with them on some form of grounds. Somewhat, and it isn't.
Gaio Pataya is signing with them on the hope that if he unifies against McCallion in devastating fashion, and then you've got Zerdo and Benavidez, it's a battle for credibility. Because one of your fan bases has to get louder than the other fan base. I think Joel Pataya loses that battle personally, because the American audience is just far bigger
and the Mexican
that's the Americas together. The North American audience and the South American audience combined is way bigger than the Australian audience. So I think you lose that. And I think that Benavidez and Zerdo have got better resumes in recent times, even though you were the guy before. But it's going to come down to that social pressure of who, and obviously the money, to make that big undisputed fight.
Facts.
But that's the gamble on Joel Pataya's part.
You're right. I still feel like the business model of a Zuffa boxing is founded in Turkey's money and Dana White's name. I think that's the business model.
I don't think Dana White's name in boxing.
No, but it's not about Dana White's name in boxing. I think you can sell that as a vision to a fighter that you are going to be a big name.
I hear you. And if you are a fighter like a Callum Walsh who's at that stage of your career, that sounds great. But if you are a top fighter, I think that they're going to struggle in that regard. I don't know that...
I don't know.
Bam Rodriguez standing on stage with Dana White don't do nothing.
But they were entertaining the offer.
They're looking at the money, but they're having a conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. I think there's going to be a lot of people just because of the money.
Yeah, of course.
It's money, innit?
Yeah, of course.
So I think
but you're going to get the fighters that are in it for money. But if you may not necessarily get the top fighters.
You're right. But if you're 100% right.
Because you need dance
But you
partners.
get certain market share. But if you're Turkey...
What Turkey's already shown us is that he doesn't know where to invest the money. Yes, you've got a lot of money. Congratulations. We ain't going to get into how you made your money. But a lot of people make money in ways that... When people have money, they think they're smarter than the average person.
You said that last week.
But if I made my money from robbing a bank and you made your money from raising a business, then who's smarter than who? I might be richer than you. Do you know what I'm saying? We see a lot of trappers with a lot of money go jail. You're not smart, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You buy food from one man, you chop it up and sell it to our 5 other men. You're not some fucking crazy entrepreneur guy that's invented something. It's a very tried and tested method that we've seen for hundreds of years. So these men think that they're smarter than they are. We've seen you put money and stock into 3 fighters that all died.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? We've seen you regularly back the wrong horse, regularly. At the moment, you lot are in a position where you're backing any horse that you can get. You're in a club at 2:30 in the morning trying to draw any gal that's there. There's no quality controls going out the window.
No, but you're right. But at least with Dana and this business model, there's some level of retention.
Do you know how much they're even going to have to overpay? They're going to have to overpay even more than Boxer was overpaying. Do you know why? Did you see the first Suffer show?
No, I didn't watch it.
No sponsors on the shorts?
Yeah, I know.
All of that kind of... So you're not only overpaying from a boxing market value, you're going to have to buy out any of the... do you know how expensive it would be for them to sign Anthony Yard?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know how expensive it would be to them... Do you know how much money Anthony Yard makes? Not just in a boxing perspective, but also from commercial value from Anthony Yard being who he is. You're going to have to pay me way more. Let's say AY gets paid $2 million a fight or something like that. It was like kind of rough numbers that Tunde was talking about. he might make another 500-600 grand from promotions.
Facts.
You're gonna have to way overpay me.
Yeah. And I think some people will be looking at it from a perspective, bro. They ain't gonna.
Also in boxing, the other thing in boxing is, unlike UFC, losses can be career devastating.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you get a fighter. UFC is not quite like that. It's not quite the same. Do you know what I'm saying? UFC is closer to how it was in boxing in the 70s and 80s, where people would have a loss, but it's not career ending necessarily, depending on who they are. If you're like the top guy, maybe. But you guys can go and get fighters that take one loss and it's long. One bad day at the office and it's long.
Yeah, but that's boxing. And that's why
But they don't know that that's boxing.
No, but bro, I'm telling you, bro, there's someone that's behind the scenes that's making boxing decisions, bro. Because when I just wanted to see the business model. When I saw the names that they were trying to bid, they were trying to buy names, bro. Jaya Pataya, forget Usyk, Jaya Pataya and Bam, for me, that's a clear sign to me of you looking for fighters who are just underneath that
top star
level,
stars, but not superstars.
But not this. They're big enough names, but they're great fighters. Do you know what I'm saying? They're big enough names, but they're great fighters. He didn't go after a Ryan. He didn't go after a Devin.
Yeah.
Or, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't go after those guys because he knows those people, it's not like they're already there. They're not going to sign no loyalty deal with you. They're not going to sign no long... You can't trap them fighters because them are mercenaries. Jaya Pataya isn't a mercenary. Of what I know of, he probably thought Bam wasn't a mercenary, but Bam's managed by Robert Garcia, so Robert Garcia's like, yeah, cool, we'll just go back to
Bam's not a superstar, but he's well on his way to being a superstar.
Facts.
So I'm not going to allow you to now have a narrative 12 months from now that you built me into a superstar. My journey's working.
But I don't think they expected Bam to take their offer and bring it back to Eddie.
Maybe not. Yeah.
And that's where they made a mistake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You got to be able to also identify. You'd maybe be able to do that with someone like Adrian Broner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Someone who's not that intelligent when it comes to business.
Yeah.
But this is why I go back to what you said last week. I genuinely feel like he backed the wrong horse. What he should have done is try to be the background for someone like Al Heyman and just fun Al Heyman.
Who, Turkey?
Turkey, you said that last week.
Turkey wants to be a celebrity, bro. Turkey wants to be a celebrity. Honestly, like he wants to sit next to Ronaldo at a boxing match or whatever. He enjoys. Other Saudi billionaires. You're right. They're man that sit in the background. This brother wants to be a front man.
It would work with Al Heyman because you don't see Al Heyman. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't see Al Heyman. Do you get what I'm saying? We don't see Al Heyman do no interviews. It would work with Al Heyman.
The Black American audience is too ignorant to be working with it is.
I agree. You got to bail Tank out of prison and all that.
There's long. You got Clarissa Shields calling up radio shows, pretending to be herself. Did you see that?
What?
Did you not see that? Oh my days. Oh my days, bro. Please, anybody that's watching this video up until this point, first of all, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Bro, there was a guy talking about Clarissa Shields. I don't know what the channel name is. I apologize, my bro. Shout out to you. I don't know if it's a YouTube channel, radio show, whatever. This idiot, I know she's your brethren, but this girl's an idiot. She called in as Clarissa's friend, and started defending Clarissa. The guy was saying that she owes tax money and all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. But throughout her rant, the facade dropped. So it started off like, I know Clarissa personally, and after 3 or 4 minutes, it was, I've paid all my taxes. What you did, me, I. Obviously giving away the fact that it was actually herself. She's an idiot, bro. I was like, yo, Papoose is probably downstairs with an apron on making muffins or something. I don't know what this nigga's doing, bro. She's a... That took you a minute.
Fam, it's because I didn't hear the name. I just heard the apron and then I just... fam.
Bro, she's an idiot, bro. That's
that is hilarious. But you got to deal with that crap. With
100%.
Maybe you're right about tapping into that. Black audience is too ignorant, bro.
Yeah.
Man was on a run. He's looking at 21 years, bro.
Good.
Fam, that is long, fam.
Good. I have no interest in watching Tank fight for world titles again. Honestly, anyone that punches up their gal or their baby mama or abuses children or anything, that's not Tank. I'm just saying anyone that does any crimes in that type of wheelhouse, I have no interest in seeing them fight. I don't care how talented you are or anything like that. I have no interest in seeing you fight. For me personally,
effed up his life, bro.
His life was already effed up, bro. This is one of them things. It's not because his life was always going to be like this, whether he had money or not. his problems are his problems. Do you know what I mean? There was never ever going to change. Mike Tyson's life was always going to be Mike Tyson's life. If Mike Tyson never boxed, other than the fame, his life would be exactly the same. We know niggas from the hood that lived exactly the same life as Mike Tyson. They're just not famous. They're just random niggas that lived exactly the same life.
Lost a bag of money, got a bag of money.
Made money, lost money, our
prison.
allegations, jail, the same thing. You know, bag of madness like that. It's just they're not famous. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But yeah, I think the way Turkey's moving, I think Eddie will be right to be very, very strategic. And Eddie likes to fight. So I feel like this galvanizes Eddie. I think Eddie likes this kind of thing.
I think where Turkey loses though, and I hope he does have someone like a Richard Schaefer behind it. Obviously, Richard Schaefer's at least got some boxing background.
Yeah.
But where Eddie loses, Eddie wins, and I feel like they've missed the market, bro. They should have tapped into that white audience.
I think they will, especially with the MAGA people, Dana White's crowd. You know, Dana. At some point,
the signings don't make sense.
At some point, Jal Pataya's kind of white-ish. At some point, I know Bam. It's a Venn diagram, but white people struggle in boxing. Let's be real. Do you know what I'm saying? Unless you're going to Eastern Europe, what great white boxers are you going to get?
Well, that's why he's going for Usyk.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're finding men that are like white adjacent if they can't find men that are white. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like that's.
I mean, Bam Rodriguez's name's Jesse, so maybe that.
You'll see him drop the Bam. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you'll see him drop the Gez. Do you know what I mean? Jesse Rodri or something like that, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It'd be something else, but that's what it is, bro. Because you see, at some point, I want to have Ricky on the show and talk about how MMA or UFC is like a white man's right wing audience to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Because them man love, first of all, they love bare racism. They think it's great promo. Do you know what I'm saying? Things that would normally be too far. I don't know if you saw Sean Strickland has got a fight against a Latin fighter, and he's going out dressed as an ICE agent, which I know you're going to find funny.
That's hilarious.
Do you know what I mean? But stuff like that, it is funny. It is funny, but I think that I don't want to compare ICE agents to slave traders. But I think if somebody did that to a black fighter in a similar vein or whatever, I don't think you would still see it as funny personally because you find that kind of thing funny. But I think a lot of people wouldn't.
You know what? I wouldn't find that funny.
Okay, I'm glad you draw the line there. It's the kind, do you know what I mean? But I think in the same situation, say it was like a white American versus African,
with like a KFC or something like that, or like that would be funny. What's a black?
I think the ICE agent thing. Me and you've had this argument already, but the ICE agent thing. We see what's happening in America. I think that's more serious than just like KFC and watermelon. That's more of a stereotype. This is like actual.
Yeah, fair enough.
This is something that's actually physically happening to people. So, but they like that kind of thing. McGregor said to this where me, you, and James disagreed on DR Sports. McGregor said to Khabib, "You're from."
I didn't agree with that.
No, I said me and you disagreed with James. When McGregor was saying to Khabib, "You're from a backwards ass culture" or something like that because he's Muslim, and they were like, "Oh, James saying it's just great promotion." A lot of their promotion is just racism for a start, but also the fact that they love to see Dana be richer than any of the fighters.
Yeah, facts.
Which is the key difference.
Because in boxing, Bam represents Mexico.
Yes.
AJ represents us.
Yes.
Obviously,
no, facts. Yeah.
Tank represents, so him
even Yard.
Yeah. Him, Tank being rich makes people who's black and from the East Coast make them feel that. Like Floyd being from the West. That's
why me and Rance clash because I think Anthony Yard. You know, I'm like whatever. But to Rance, it's like look what Yard's achieved. It's great.
Dana is a white guy.
Yeah.
And seeing Dana Rich is like them seeing themselves.
They would rather see Dana Rich than the Dagestani man or
they see themselves in Dana. Whereas we see ourselves in the fighter.
Exactly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. I think that there are more people that I know that are boxing fans, proper boxing fans, have boxed or stepped in the ring than people I know that are UFC fans have gone and stepped in the ring.
But that's partially why Don King was so successful.
Yeah.
Because Don King played on the fact that I'm a independent black promoter.
Businessman.
And this is like, and I'm in a black sport.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And obviously this guy ripped off everyone.
Yeah.
But he sold that black. I remember when he signed Muhammad Ali. He was like, yeah, you can't get, when Bob Arum being Jewish, you're gonna let this white devil promote you. And he's quoting Elijah Muhammad. This guy's a genius, fam.
I mean, we see it with flipping Wilder saying that about Eddie Hearn when he was managed by Shelley Finkel at the time. So it just is what it is. Let's talk about Josh Kelly versus Barkram. We haven't even spoken about Chisora versus Wilder either.
No, we did last week.
Okay, fine. We can. Okay, go back to last week's episode for that. Josh Kelly versus Barkram. Like I said, we're not going to be live. We'd normally be live to watch this fight. We're actually going to be at the Copper Box for the. I don't even know what card to call it now. The Adam Azim card, even though Adam Azim's no longer on it.
Boxer card.
The boxer card. Fine. Catch up with my old friend Ben Shalom there. I hope he hasn't seen any of our videos because obviously since I last saw him, I've shitted on him a lot. So.
And the funniest one is when you're like, oh, bro, obviously right now he's eating corned beef and rice.
Yeah, bro, it is what it is. But how do you see this fight going? I think you think this fight is going to be more competitive than I think this fight's going to be.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think this fight's going to be competitive.
Why were you so excited to see it live? To watch it then? Or just
it's still a good fight.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like...
And you were right about Eddie setting up Josh Kelly as the backup for Boots if Boots can't get the Virgil
Yeah,
fight.
facts. He's literally been saying that. But I don't know why. He must see something I don't know. Unless he's overpaid Barkram. I don't know why he's so confident that Kelly's going to go through and fight Jaron Ennis. I don't know why he's so confident in that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, in my opinion, I think Barkram beats Kelly every day of the week. And I think
he stops him as well.
Yeah, I think stylistically, it's just terrible. It's a terrible fight.
Yeah.
Like,
Kelly's not even with Eddie, is he?
No, he is now.
Oh, he's back with Eddie now?
Yeah, he is now.
Okay, so Eddie's just saying that because that's his guy.
But he didn't have to sign Josh Kelly. He signed Josh Kelly and made this fight. Like, if I'm really looking for Josh Kelly's next few opponents, why would I... Unless he's got options on Barkram as well, I don't know. But why would I put him straight away into a fight with Barkram?
I was going to say, I reckon he's got the same options for Barkram
He would
as well.
have to.
He's just not going to
promote
promote that, yeah.
But he would have to, because for me, it doesn't make sense. Like, I understand why, though. Now I understand, because he can't say, oh, Jaron Ennis has got options for Barkram because you just signed Josh Kelly, and making the Barkram Ennis fight should be easier than making the Kelly Ennis fight. If he doesn't have the deal with Kelly.
If Kelly loses, is there a Conor Benn fight for him?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, fair.
But I don't see this fight as feeding him to the wolves, though. I don't see this fight as feeding him to the wolves.
I kind of do.
But then where would be the net positive for that?
I don't know.
That's why I don't see it as that. I feel like there's part of him that hopes that Josh Kelly can get the fight, but Josh Kelly can get the win. But I feel like, all right, cool. Let me put it in a business way.
Okay.
I've got Jaron Ennis. He's my fighter. He's a person I've put a bucket load of money. We've just re-signed him. He's going to take me to the promised land. I want him to get a belt, right? I want him to fight Virgil. I want him to have as much leverage as possible. I can't entice Barkram into a fight just by saying, oh, fight Jaron Ennis as the... So another way to do that is I have to present Barkram with an opportunity. Fight Josh Kelly, fight Jaron Ennis. Then you got more of a plan. It's the same thing with Josh Kelly. I go to Josh Kelly, fight Barkram, you win a world title, then you got Jaron Ennis straight away. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like if he just goes and pushes Ennis as an individual fighter, he then pays more. Do you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, I'll pay for your next fight, but once I pay for your next fight, fight my guy after. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what I think he's doing it as. I don't feel like he's throwing Josh Kelly in there to the wolves. Like, I've signed you, but I'm going to throw you into the wolves. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think he's doing that. I could be wrong, though.
That's why I'm trying to see what the options would be, contingency plans, if Josh Kelly loses.
When Josh Kelly loses.
Well, I'm trying to think from Eddie's perspective. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, but Eddie knows Josh Kelly's going to lose. He might want Kelly to win.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't even have been a contingency. His thing was, when Barkram beats Kelly, what do I do then? That's what he would have asked himself first.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, if Kelly wins, it's great. But the first thing he would have asked himself is when Kelly loses. Because he knows Kelly's going to lose.
If Kelly were to win.
Great.
Upset of the year.
One of the biggest upsets. Because you know what? It's not even that it's an upset.
And it's
Barkram's slightly...
I was going to say, it's just... Barkram's one of those guys. It's just... He doesn't translate to a Western audience, right?
Facts.
So it's one of them ones. It's similar to Murtazaliev and these kind of guys where they just can't really so like he's not going to be seen. The average guy in Newcastle is probably going into that fight not really understanding what Josh Kelly is actually
going up against. Like,
yeah.
you're right, and Barkram was borderline untested until he fought Tim Tszyu and just destroyed him. Absolutely just ran him over. Now, for me...
And that win's aged quite well.
Because
Tim Tszyu's back and he looks decent.
Looked good. But Kelly, stylistically, is just all what I'm looking for if I'm Barkram. Someone who's going to keep their hands down against me and someone who's naturally smaller. Yeah, you're faster than me, but you ain't got the power. He ain't got... Remember, Kelly doesn't have punch power at 54. So you're basically going to give me 12 rounds to just try and knock you out. Because the moment I touch you, it's over. Like, I have the power to stop you from fighting.
Yeah.
Like just straight away.
Yeah.
So it's not like a Shakur Stevenson where you can put on a defensive masterclass for 12 rounds. You're not that. No. You do like to get your shots off, but you're quite flashy and flamboyant. Cool. I'm just going to knock you out, bro.
And is Kelly up? Does Kelly have some pressure as well to try to... Because this fight is also partly trying to reignite his career. He will try to be flashy. He will try to be... But
that's all he knows.
But he's also been devoid of opportunities. It's not even like... We've seen Whittaker just go, cool, let me lock in and just box a normal boxing match. Now, once Whittaker had the big Eddie Hearn promotional push, I don't have to be flashy anymore.
Facts.
But Kelly's still trying to be flashy to still get his moment in the sun. Because it's kind of almost come and gone a little bit.
Well, that goes to my advice. If I'm Adam Booth and I'm Josh Kelly... This flashy shoulder roll.
I'm looking at Ben Whittaker and saying,
none of that, bro.
Yeah.
Use your feet and move. None of that.
Especially knowing that you're at home, you will get a decision. If you can survive 12 rounds, that's my thing. If you can survive, win, lose or draw, survive 12 rounds, you get the decision.
Facts.
And we'll argue it in court afterwards.
Yeah,
do you know
facts.
what I'm saying? But just survive.
Just survive.
Yeah, facts.
Because for me, it's one of those ones where this ain't, bro, like, I don't know if you've, like, this ain't no game, bro. Like, this ain't no... Like, I would probably have him watching Tim Tszyu and Barkram in a dressing room, bro. This dude, it's not no game thing, bro.
Yeah,
like,
Tim Tszyu would beat Josh Kelly.
Probably. So don't come with no shoulder roll thing, bro. Fight properly, bro. Because honestly, if you go out there and...
You don't have to... The shoulder roll and all that, is to win the judges. You don't have to win the judges.
Yeah,
you've already got the judges.
And the maddest thing is, if you win a world title and you stunk the place out, you won a world title. Who gives a crap?
Yeah.
Who gives a crap, bro? Who gives a crap?
Especially with the Ortiz situation, you've got an Ennis fight there. You've got big money.
Yeah, facts.
Which you'll lose that fight anyway.
Yeah, but big money.
Yeah.
But there's no need. It's not like you're a Devin or Shakur who is elite fighters, but they're trying to sell themselves to bigger fights.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
You already got your next fight signed, sealed, and delivered.
That being said, is the curse back?
Yeah.
It's the curse. But who's more cursed in this situation? I guess Kelly's the one that Eddie's saying is signed, sealed, and delivered. So maybe it's Kelly's curse. But that's not even a curse because it wouldn't even be an upset if he loses. What the fuck's this nigga doing on camera? What are we doing?
Something was in my teeth.
You know we're doing a podcast right now.
Something was in my teeth.
Where's the professionalism? But yeah, it could be the curse again. Do you know what I'm saying? Of signing people. We have a conspiracy theory on this channel, if you're new to the channel, that when a fighter has a fight for big money already signed after whatever fight they're about to go into, very often we're seeing them lose. And it's just a conspiracy theory that we have that it's just cursed. It's a bad omen. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are about to discuss possibly the fight of the year.
I can't. There's probably...
What other fights are going to come up? Zurdo Ramirez, Benavidez.
Yeah. If we get Boots versus Virgil.
Maybe Boots. It's not even for a world title. Level-wise, it's a good fight. But I think that both those fights are above Boots versus Virgil, personally. Eddie keeps saying Boots versus Virgil's 1 and 2 in the division. None of them have world titles, bro. What are we doing? We're just mugging man off, blood. What are we doing? If I'm Fondora and I'm sitting at home listening to you talk about these men are 1 and 2 in the division, are you taking the piss?
Facts.
Jaya Pataya cannot walk into heavyweight and him and I don't even know. Do you mean?
Yeah,
him and whoever be 1 and 2 in the
mean.
division. How's he 2 in the division? Him and Wardley's 1 and 2 in the division. How? Would that make no sense?
Yeah, facts. I know what you mean.
Any other fights that's that level? I think it's just Zurdo and Benavidez. Because no one else got the right dance partners. That's
It's
the thing.
dance partners.
It's the dance partners thing. I get it.
Dance partners. It's the dance partners.
154 should have those fights, but I'm not having the. If for me, Boots versus Fundora would be that fight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like something like that. Like the fights are there, but
I'm thinking. This is tough.
Nothing at heavyweight, nothing at cruiserweight.
Nothing that we. There's fights I can put together, but they're not even.
Not fights that's been spoken about.
Spoken about. Yeah. So you're probably right.
This is one of the fights of the year.
Teo and Shakur.
And not only that, not only is this fight of the year or one of the fights of the year, we have yet to see the card for Zerdo and Benavidez, but so far this is looking like card of the year. This is a great card.
Solid card.
Great card.
It's a great card. I mean, Ring's doing what Ring's doing. Big up Ring. Again, another great card. I think potential fight of the night is Adames versus Ammo Williams. I think that's going to be a flipping fight, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you got Shushu Carrington on the undercard. Keyshawn Davis versus Jermaine Ortiz. What a fight that's going to be. Have I missed another fight? Have I missed one?
That's Zayed. I don't know. You've got
Yeah.
Jerome Miller.
Jerome Miller's fighting. Who's Jerome Miller fighting?
Kingsley Ibe.
I didn't even know that. Okay, so those fights ain't necessary to talk about. So, but yeah, let's talk about it, bro.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. For me, I don't even know where to start because the fight is so intriguing for me. If you were to ask me who's gonna win, safe money is Shakur Stevenson. Because Shakur Stevenson is damn near perfect. And when I mean damn near perfect, I mean like Shakur Stevenson, people are entertained by the unknown. Shakur Stevenson is so great that he's not entertaining.
He's so good, he's boring.
Facts.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You don't find a movie that you've already watched entertaining as much as you did the first time because you know what's going to happen. Same thing with a joke, same thing with a horror. Do you know what I'm saying? He's just a well-oiled machine. He knows what he's going to do. We know what he's going to do. And Teo knows what he's going to do. However, this is where I'm like, if I'm Teo, I need to get him off plan A. I need him to get on plan B like he's a girl that don't want to have pitney, bro.
But also,
he needs to fight another style.
And if any fighter at that weight can force him into a second game plan, Teo is one of the guys that can do it on his best day. Someone like Devin can't necessarily force.
He can. No, but no.
The thing I like about Shakur as well.
I'll tell you why. But Devin's slightly because they both do the same thing.
That's what I'm saying.
One of them would have to change.
That's what I'm saying. But I could see them both leaning back and trying to jab each other's heads off. Do you know what I mean? Who is going to throw him off of his game, like what Zepeda tried to do, but at a higher level? So this is where we're disagreeing because I actually don't think that's Teo's best game plan.
I
hear you. But I'm saying
I think Teo's best game plan is actually fighting off the back foot.
I think Teo is so erratic, both as a boxer and as a person. I don't think he'll have a game plan. This is what makes Teo entertaining to me, even though I don't like him outside of the ring. Teo doesn't necessarily fight with one game plan. He fights differently in different spells of the fight. We're going to talk about Arsenal, Man United later. I told you that there'll be spells in the game when Arsenal is on top, and there'll be spells in the game when Manchester United's on top. And the game will come down to who gets their goals when they're on top. Teo is quite good at feeling the momentum of a fight. If you allow Teo when he's at his best.
Because you know why it's so funny? You know why it's so funny? Because when he's at his worst, that's probably his worst attribute.
That's what I'm saying. It's so instinctive with Teo. And when we talk about people going up in weight classes, we talk about power. And we normally say that he carries his power up, Shakur's not the most powerful puncher, but he still carries up his speed. He still carries up his defense. He still carries all the technical stuff. He's able to carry it all the way up. He's going all the way up to 140. What did he start at? 126? He's going all the way up to 140. So, it's a lot of a jump. For me, Teo, on his best day, I just don't want to compare him to Ryan. I don't want to compare him to Rolly. But he's the best of the Ryans and Rollies. He's the best of the on their day class. If there was a class of fighters that are on their day guys, he's the A star of the on their day guys.
Facts, 100%. When he's on his day, he does everything right. And what you said is correct. For me, when I look at this fight stylistically, I look at two things that is going to be a key factor in this fight. what I think Teo should do and what Teo should do is probably not the same. Because what I think Teo should do, he's probably not going to do.
What do you think he should do?
I think Teo should fight off the back foot. I think Teo has to try and get Shakur Stevenson going forward. Your front foot game is nowhere near Shakur's back foot game. Shakur is arguably the greatest defensive fighter in the sport, according to stats. You aren't Artur Beterbiev. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're fighting off the front foot, we have a Kambosos, where you're just going in there aggressive and just looking sloppy. We have a Sandor Martin, where you almost lost that fight. I thought you lost the fight. Do you know what I'm saying? When you fight and you're not just being erratic and aggressive and fighting off the front foot, we get a Josh Taylor. On the Lomachenko fight, you fought center ring, so it's slightly different. But for me,
he was a lot bigger than Loma as well.
Very. But that goes into my point. I think if you go forward against Shakur, you are allowing Shakur to fight his best game. You have to find a way, because if Shakur fights his best game, he wins. You have to find a way to get this guy not fighting his best game. And for me, the way you do that is what Teo does significantly better than Shakur Stevenson. Significantly better than Shakur Stevenson is he wins the battle of narrative. In the ring, this guy will shoulder roll. This guy will stick his tongue out. This guy will
Tyson Fury.
If there's a low-paced fight and neither fighter are throwing punches,
Teo's also the champion. What's going to be interesting for Shakur is you have to go in there and take the belt off the champion.
It's not if the champion's doing some foolishness and just...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we see Teo just go in there. The day when his baby mother left him, my man just went in there think he was just... Mike Tyson just tried to knock Kambosos' head off in the first minute.
Better than doing what Tank does and knock his missus head off. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying, but like...
Teo reminds me of Aaron Ramsdale.
Right.
Do you remember Aaron Ramsdale did the podcast with Ian Wright? Do you remember this?
No.
You don't remember that? People said this killed Aaron Ramsdale's Arsenal career, because Aaron Ramsdale was a very good goalkeeper for us, but he'd have these random moments of doing foolishness. And he said in a podcast, and people said this is a big mistake and it deaded his career at Arsenal. He said, I struggle to concentrate for 90 minutes. If I'm not in the game, I just get bored. And so I might do some madness.
Yeah, no.
That's Teo. Teo will get bored. I think Shakur's best chance is boring him.
100%. No.
If he lures him into boredom, he will be able to win the fight.
I think that's how Shakur wins.
Yeah.
I actually think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to go into round 8 and round 9. I think the first couple rounds might be quite interesting. We're going to go into round 8 and round 9. I want to think, bro, Teo's just not showed up today. Because that's what Sandor Martin done. Sandor Martin literally circled around, and then Teo was just, the first couple rounds he tried to chase him. Then after a while, Teo just got bored.
Yeah.
He just didn't do nothing. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, rounds are going by and you're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
But if I'm Teo, I'm like, bro, I'm going to dance. I'm going to entertain the crowd. Remember when Tyson Fury was doing all of that crap in the ring? I'm like, bro, no one's actually landing any punches here.
Yeah.
But he's winning the narrative. Usyk he's tapped in. He's not going to get...
He's not going to get bored.
He's going to get bored.
He's not going to get bored. He's not going to get distracted.
He's not going to get distracted by that. He's not going to buy into that.
No.
But we don't know how good Shakur's front foot game is. Yeah, you look good on the front foot against flipping Padley, but we need to see how you look on your front foot. And if I'm Teo, I'm trying to get this guy going forward.
My thing is that it's not just the front foot. We don't know how he is. We don't know his chin.
No.
And Teo has power. Do you mean we saw him kind of buckled against Zepeda, and Showbiz and DAZN sat with Teo, and I don't know if you saw the clip they showed in the clip, whatever. Teo will feel like he can hurt Shakur, and I think he can hurt Shakur, and that will give him confidence. And Teo can carry power later into a fight.
You're right, but he don't have power going forward. His power is very in exchange.
Yeah.
Like if you look at obviously the most famous knockout is the Richard Comey one, where they both exchanging a punch. He gets his head off to the side. He lands a shot. Richard Comey's out cold.
Yeah.
For me, I don't really remember seeing Shakur Teo lead and getting stoppages.
That's not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that because Shakur's so defensively good, he doesn't get hit with shots that he doesn't see. Even if he does get hit, there's shots that he sees coming. So the Zepeda one kind of buckled him a bit, but yeah, his arguments did the ropes keep him up, whatever. But it wasn't really like a knockout blow because he's watching the punch coming. Do you know what I'm saying? Can Teo create angles, and Teo can.
He can create. Yeah,
he can be a good angle fighter.
Facts.
And that is what I
good,
think.
Very good angle fighter.
That's what I think would be one of the. I think he has to. There's going to be times he's going to have to both box off the back
I was going to say,
box off the back.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
And I think he needs to kind of sheepdog Shakur into a corner, and then he needs to use his angles.
I agree.
And then step back again.
I think, in fact, you're right. You're probably right about that. If Teo is going forward, you can't launch. You got to almost creep and get him into a certain space, rhythm. And then you attack, and you attack. Because for me, you
attack from angles and get some success, to keep your mind fresh and to win the round, you take steps all the way back and you literally restart. You know how like boring Arsenal play football? Once we attack and we don't score a goal, we go all the way back to Saliba and start the attack over again. That's what he's got. It's not sustained attacks. Do you know what I mean? Because it's sustained attacks will lose you this fight. You have to reset completely and then go back in again. My issue with Teo is, can he have the concentration and the discipline to do that across 12 rounds?
And you got to emphasize every punch you land. You see, every punch you land, you got to force Shakur to know you've been punched. Because what Shakur struggles with is getting his get back. So against Zepeda's so shit defensively that Shakur didn't have to worry about a get back. Yeah, you land me a shot, but I'll just stand 3 punches back because you're so shit defensively. Do you know what I'm saying? But if Shakur gets hit with a shot and then you then do the reverse thing, Shakur now thinking, if I just stay on the ropes, then he's pretty much won that exchange. So that's definitely a game plan. The reason why
it might have to be a low output fight
for Teo, in terms of
you win one exchange and then you leave it.
Facts.
I'm now if I win the first exchange in the round, I'm not throwing another punch unless you come to me.
I'm just gonna.
The round is now mine.
Yeah. You gotta show me. Because for me, I think if you get Shakur fighting going forward, that's when you see mistakes. You let Shakur dance around the ring and box, bro. You ain't gonna catch this.
Shakur's not great going forwards. Do you know what I mean? And even if he's shown being great going forwards, it's not against no high level opposition.
Padley.
Do you know what I'm saying? Padley. So that's what it is. Unfortunately, he's the best defensive fighter. You get him coming forwards. That's what
it's a bit similar to what when Oscar fought Pernell Whitaker, and the differences with this is Pernell Whitaker was a great defensive fighter, but Oscar was a great offensive fighter. Teo is a great offensive fighter, but he's not a great offensive fighter like Mexican style.
No.
He's not like a Benavides.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But Mexican style, he's not like a Benavides. You know what I'm saying? And a Benavides style will cause Shakur problems just because of volume. Just like similar what we saw with Andy Cruz and Murtazaliev last week. But this fight, I don't think Teo can adopt that style. Yeah. What does it mean for the win? Like, who do you think wins? And the reason why we didn't speak about Shakur, by the way, is because we know what Shakur's gonna do. So there's no point us saying what does Shakur do, or because we know what he's gonna do anyway.
I'm torn. I'm so torn. I mean, I'm leaning towards Shakur. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Teo pull this off. I wouldn't be surprised. Teo's also like, one thing we neglect about Teo is how much he's got Dave Allen syndrome. Teo could, do you know what I mean? Teo can only be the B-side.
Facts.
Teo fights way better when he's the B-side. Do you know what I mean? So when he goes into a fight and he's supposed to win it, he'll bug out. Do you know what I'm saying? But if he goes into a fight against someone that, everyone's talking about how great the other guy is, that's where he can really...
I agree.
Do you know what I'm saying? He loves that.
I agree. But I think with the Lomachenko fight, I think part of that was greatness. Obviously, Lomachenko was Lomachenko, and Teo, what he done that night was amazing. But I feel like a lot of that was down to size and Lomachenko getting the game plan wrong. When he done it with Josh Taylor, obviously Josh Taylor was undisputed champion, well, former undisputed champion, Ring Magazine, all of that. And obviously Josh Taylor was a favourite going into the Teofimo Lopez fight, and Teo handed him his first loss. But that was Josh Taylor's it was a very bad performance from Josh Taylor on the night, and then he just hasn't aged well. I do wonder if he does require the other fighter to not be on their best game as well.
Do we give him any credit for making those opponents fight badly and not have their best game?
You have to get credit for that.
Yeah.
You have to get credit for that.
Because to beat Shakur, we all agree, the first thing is taking him out of his game plan.
Of course.
If Shakur sits on the back ropes, with his shoulder roll, and you're trying to land on him, the fight's over. Do you know what I mean? You can do it for 36 minutes. You will land some punches, but he will land a lot more. He will look a lot slicker, and he will nick rounds off you doing that.
Facts.
First port of call, get him off his game plan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Just going in there with, someone like Pitbull Cruz, something, it's just easy work.
Easy.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm going to do what I do, you do what you do, and I do what I do at a way higher level than you do what you do. So that's just that. Do you know what I mean? So the first thing is obviously get him off his game plan. But can Teo do that? I think he can. I don't think that he necessarily will, but if there's anyone that stylistically I'm talking about, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we're looking at other guys at 135 or 140, who do I think is versatile enough, and who do I think has the right mentality, a mixture of stinking up the joint and entertaining? Do you know what I'm saying? Because you kind of need a bit of both.
You do need a bit of both, and I do get that. One thing I will say, which works in Teo's favor, and I know we're just talking about Teo, because generally I think Shakur wins the fight, but one thing I think that works in Teo's favor is Shakur's worried about weight. Shakur's openly said he ain't staying at 40. He's a natural 135. And he made an emphasis in his last interview. I'm actually not even a natural 140. I'm going up in weight class and I'm going right back down. I don't even want to stay at 140. He also said that he's too small to fight Devin at 47. And he also alluded to fighting Conor Benn at some form of catch weight, because he's obviously worried about size. Teo is a comfortable 140. You can fight at 147. For me, that's what I'm using. Like, bro, you got, in some way, shape or form, you have to make him feel like he's in there with a 140, even if that means in clinches. Now, I know Shakur's a very clean fighter. He's very hard to tie up, but you got to find a way to impose that size disparity. Teo doesn't do that. Like, Teo isn't like a Pitbull Cruz or like a Devin Haney. Those guys who do like fight quite ugly at times and tie up, and he doesn't do that. But he's going to have to do something to impose that, because I do see that as a weakness for Shakur.
I think so too. I wonder with the hand speed of how you try to tie Shakur up. But I did wonder if Teo was a different fighter, definitely I'd be wanting to walk Shakur down, tie him up. But the problem is, if you're not successful, because the exchange rate I feel like could be quite low.
Yeah, facts.
I feel like you could lose the fight doing that.
I think it's about moments, innit? So
This is what I'm talking about.
I feel like it's at moments. So
Shakur, the negative of Shakur, and people like you or Rance will argue this is the positive of Shakur, but the negative of Shakur is that he's going to do one thing, for almost like Madrimov. You do what you do, and you fight kind of at one gear. Do you know what I mean? And because Shakur's so good, he doesn't have to go to third, fourth, fifth gear. He just doesn't have to. But what we've got in Teo is someone who the game plan for Teo is going to be much more complicated. There'll be times you have to tie him up and wrestle him and let him know you're the bigger man. Pause. There'll be times when you've got to shoot from angles. There'll be times where you've got to win exchanges, then come back and reset and make him come to you. You're going to have to do 3 or 4 different things in order to win a round, and probably do them at different. And like I say, feel when the momentum's in your favor. Even when you hurt him, it's not empty the tank. It's definitely not empty the tank.
Facts.
When you hit him with a punch and you hurt him, stick to the game plan. We go back, we reset. Do you know what I'm saying? We walk him down slow, we shoot from angles again, etc. Just, it's all about throwing him off his game plan.
I feel like he can't afford...
You're asking Teo to create a blueprint that isn't there.
Mm-hmm. Facts. I think Shakur can't afford to be down on the cards going into the second half of the fight.
Oh, definitely not.
Because if he has to chase the fight,
if he chases the fight, he loses.
I think he's
If he chases the fight, he loses. Yeah, I think he gets stopped if he's chasing the fight.
You can get stopped.
If he's chasing the fight, second half of the fight, yeah. If by round 7, round 8 he's coming forwards, Teo will love that.
Yeah, facts.
That's where Teo's dancing and distracting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Everything you do counts for 10 times less. And everything he does counts for 10 times more.
Do you know what I'm saying? And Arnold Barbosa is bigger than Teo. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bigger than Teo, bigger than Shakur.
Way bigger than Shakur. Do you know what I mean? So once you're coming forwards, I can pick you off.
Facts.
I can pick you off easy. Pick you off in circle. And I can pick you off with power. Shakur can move and Shakur can counterpunch. Shakur cannot, from what I've seen, move and counterpunch at the same time. Teo can move and punch at the same time.
Yeah, he does.
Do you know what I'm saying? Shakur moves, stops and holds his feet, hits counters, then moves again.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know what I'm saying?
He doesn't do. I know what you mean. He doesn't do that, like, Teo's got like
Loma
a herky
and
jerky type thing.
Loma, Teo. I'm trying to think of other Pernell Whitaker. Obviously you mentioned earlier. These men move and punch at the same. Bivol's so good at that. He moves and punches at the same time.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's very, very difficult.
Even Madrimov does that.
Madrimov does that. Again, that same kind of style is very, very difficult to do that. So once you're trying to attack this person, it is so difficult. It's so difficult because you have to predict. And like you say, Shakur's not a naturally offensive fighter. He'd have to go to... Then we'd have to see him do something different in the middle of a world title fight at 140.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta get that. We gotta get that.
Yeah.
And but everybody's... Bro, Shakur is a big betting favourite, you know.
Of course.
Why you say that? Teo's the champion.
Teo's lost twice.
Once.
Teo's lost... Was it only Kambosos?
Yeah.
Teo's lost once, and outside ring antics, he's seen as an unpredictable
And in
character.
my opinion, he's lost twice, but...
That's it, the Sandor Martin fight as well. So, do you know what I mean? That there's vulnerabilities and there's a blueprint. Shakur is seen as this defensively perfect fighter. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I can see why Shakur's the betting favourite.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I can see why. But you know me, bro. When there's a fighter, when there's long odds on a fighter, I'm like, I can spot an opportunity to make money.
I mean, it's a good enough fight, bro. It's a good enough fight where if Shakur lost, I could see a way in. I can see, I can't see how Josh Kelly beats Barkham outside of a robbery. I can see how Teo beats Shakur.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can't see how Josh Kelly beats Barkham.
We haven't spoken a lot about Shakur inside the ring. Let's talk a little bit about Shakur outside of the ring. Are we beginning to see some mental frailties? Some pre-game excuses? I'll play you at FIFA, but I'm used to playing Xbox. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this whole, we spoke about it on the live stream the other day. We'll talk about it here again on the podcast. He's becoming very friendly and chummy with a lot of the guys that should be his rivals.
I know where you're going with this. Is it? And I'm going to say the line that you always say. Does Shakur Stevenson's fans have more confidence in Shakur than Shakur has in Shakur?
Yeah.
Because I get why you asked that. I get why you're saying that.
But also, like, I'm just keeping the same energy with Shakur that I'm keeping with Yard. With Yard, I said, you don't have the mentality of, I want to clean out divisions, I want to unify world titles, I even want to win world titles. You're giving yourself these excuses.
We're seeing that.
With Yard, 17 amateur fights, came into boxing late, etc., etc., etc. You're a guy that's always been in boxing. You're from one of those kind of legacy... You're from one of those, not legacy families, but you're one of them guys. Do you know what I mean? Been Junior Olympics, all these kind of things. Olympics, been boxing since you were single figures in age, etc. This is all you know. Is there a lack of venom in Shakur? And when I say venom, I feel like if he were to fight Keyshawn Davis, if he were to fight Abdullah Mason, if he were to fight any of these guys, he visualizes when he goes to bed at night, his hand being raised by unanimous decision. He doesn't visualize knocking man out and taking man's head off.
I don't think he needs to, but where I do feel like it does play a part is the fact that we've been very, very critical of Shakur Stevenson when it comes to making fights because he's always wanted some form of contingency or like overplaying your hand or saying, I want a rehydration clause. Certain people like Crawford, they're just so confident within themselves.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? He's so confident with himself. You can have all the money. You could have all the whatever you want. We'll do that.
Yeah. Whatever weight you want, whatever. Yeah. Anywhere, any location.
Whereas Shakur, he's always been quite particular.
But not just that. His fans talk about him as though he's got the same talent level as Crawford. My argument with Anthony Yard and other people, and this is where me and Rance disagreed, is how when Yard was coming up, it was how he was talked about. You were talked about as though you were this killer. Because you were, to be fair, killing guys at a low level. Ben Whitaker, we only hold him, we're looking at him saying, why are you not taking a fight with Benavidez? Ben Whitaker shouldn't really be taking a fight with Benavidez at this stage in his career, but he's talked about by the British media as that he was the biggest boxing signing last year. Well, why are you not taking big fights then? If you're the big... Do you know what I mean? Now, to be fair to Ben Whitaker, that's not his fault, right? It's like when people say Saka's getting paid $300,000 a week. Well, that's not his... It's not his fault, innit? Do you know what I mean? How much you get paid is not relevant to the conversation we're having. But if we're talking about you as though you're the top guy, you're angry when Devin's in pound for pound conversations. You're angry when Crawford's in pound for pound conversations. You feel like you should be in these conversations. But they operate in a certain way, not just because they win fights, but how they win fights and taking fights in any location at any weight and this and that and the third, you're not operating in that way. So I can't talk to you.
He's in this fight because he is moving
No, but
up
he's
a weight
not.
class.
If in the interviews, this is what I'm saying. You're not even telling me if you're already giving yourself excuses. So you're not. You took the fight. There's credit in taking the fight. But as soon as you take the fight, like I said, you're taking the control to play me at FIFA. But as soon as you take the control, you say, yo, I'm just letting you know I'm used to playing Xbox. Because as soon as you take the fight, before the fight's even started, you're saying, I'm not staying at 140, by the way. So any unification fights, man, even if you go out there and comprehensively outbox Teo, you've already said you ain't fighting the other guys at 140.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So what are we doing?
Yeah, I hear what you're
But
saying.
you also won't fight the other guys at 135.
Yeah.
So how much credit can I give you?
I mean, you don't get any credit for not winning. You know what I'm saying? You don't get any credit for not winning. And I don't buy the excuse of, oh, this is your first fight at 40. Yep. I don't buy that neither. But you only get credit when you win.
Yeah.
So that answers your question. He don't get no credit if he loses, bro.
No, but I'm saying even if he wins...
He has to get credit if he wins, bro.
No, I'll give him credit if he wins. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I'll give him credit if he wins. But what I'm saying is, I'm not giving him. He's still not showing me that champion level mindset because there's beatable champions. Richardson Hitchens, he's saying he don't want to fight. Gary Antoine Russell, I'm sure he'll find some other excuse not to fight. Gary Antoine Russell's not even a big 140.
Gary Antoine Russell's a 140 though. He's not a 135.
He's not a big 140.
It's a 140.
Dalton Smith is there.
Yeah.
There's no. Do you know what I mean like there's winnable fights here?
Mm-hmm.
But you're talking yourself out of these fights.
There's winnable fights and it's easy fights to make. Hitchinson just re-signed with Matchroom. Dalton Smith is with Matchroom, and either this fight that you've got is under the Matchroom umbrella, even though it's Ring Magazine. So those are two fights you can easily unify straight away. Anton Russell's going to be hard because that's PBC, but you could. It's easier than going back to 35.
Even at 135, you got Murataya. The WBA is going to be vacant.
I don't know who's going to be in line for that. Wonder.
I'll have a look at that in a minute. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're there with the WBC, so
you're not going to fight Mason.
There was no. So you were better off not taking this fight and just unifying with Murataya. Then we just saw Murataya fight a 6-0 Andy Cruz. You could have got that fight.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
no, but I think Teo's a bigger name, bro.
I hear you, but then you're giving yourself constant excuses. If we saw anybody else go up, if we see Benavidez go up from 175 world champion to go and fight Zerdo. If he beats Zerdo, what do you want to see straight away?
If he beats Zerdo?
Yeah.
Fight Gerald Pateo.
Thank you. So where's the same energy for Shakur? We wouldn't accept Benavidez going up, beating Zerdo, and then saying, I'm not fighting Jai, I'm going to go back down to 175.
No.
We wouldn't accept that.
I mean, it was...
In fact, the only reason we might accept it...
to a certain degree.
The only reason we might accept it is because we've got unbelievable fighters like Bivol.
Facts.
Only because it's Bivol.
Facts.
If it wasn't Bivol and you went back down to fight Yard or Buatsi or Callum Smith...
I get what you mean. I get what you mean in the sense that if you go up to fight Teo at that level, you can't go back down to fight Murataya. You might as well just... You might as well unify...
you might as well fight Dalton Smith then.
Yeah, facts.
Or you should have fought Murataya in the first place.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Do you know what I mean?
Murataya is a decent sized 135. That could have been good prep to go and fight a TO. And then if you're... this is how someone like a Devin would have moved.
Yeah.
And this is why Devin is held in that esteem. That's why Devin's held at that level. Do you know what I mean? Crawford went all the way up to 168 and beat Canelo in a comprehensive performance. You can't want to be in these conversations but not move the way these guys move.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like
David Benavidez was the best at 168. He was the boogeyman at 168. Never held a world title because
he did, but he got.
Was it a vacant one? Who did he win the world title against? He never got the Canelo fight.
He never got the. Who did he win the world title against? Did he win it against Andre Durrell? Durrell? I think he won it against Durrell.
Was it vacant?
Might have been vacant.
Because wasn't Canelo undisputed?
No, yeah. So before Canelo became undisputed, remember this guy lost his belt on the scales or something like that, or he had won the belt but then lost the belt on the scales and Canelo won it. But because Benavidez never lost it in the ring, he was all instantly mandatory.
Got you.
So what happened was Yildirim was supposed to fight Benavidez.
Yeah.
Because Yildirim ended up getting the belt, but because Canelo paid way more money, Yildirim fought Canelo. And then he was instantly mandatory, and the WBC just allowed him to never fight Benavidez.
Fine.
So that's
Benavidez got a world title at 168.
But he never really won it.
Do you know what I'm saying? But cool. He was the guy at 168. He moves up to 175. He fights David Morrell, who's seen as an up-and-comer. He fights Yard, and he's trying to fight Bivol Beterbiev.
Yeah.
The fights aren't there, injuries, whatever. But he's clearly showing that he's not even. Some people would lie. Some people would not really want to fight these guys, but lie and say that they want to. Shakur's openly saying, "I don't want to fight." There's 2 weight classes where you won't fight the guys. Now he's moving all the way up.
There's 3 because you said you ain't fighting. You ain't fighting Abdullah Mason at 35.
What about Oshaki Foster?
He will fight Oshaki Foster.
Fine.
He ain't. Well, then I don't even know. Because here's why that's interesting for me. That's a great question. Because him and Oshaki Foster was at 30 together.
That's what I'm saying.
They were at 30 together.
Yep.
Him, Oshaki Foster, and Navarrete, which we're going to be live for Navarrete via Sugar Nunes. Yep. They were all there. They were all at 30. And he didn't fight none of them at 30.
Roach at the same time?
Roach was at 30 as well. All of them was at 30. You didn't fight none of them.
So you
moved to 35.
People are putting a caveat on Crawford's greatness because he didn't fight the world champions.
He did.
At 154.
At 54.
At 54. He didn't fight the world champions at 54. I understand that. People are saying it's a black mark against his name, he ducked boots, blah, blah. I disagree, but I understand that. We've got 3 you are moving through weight classes and not fighting other champions.
I agree.
So I give you credit for taking the fight at 140 with Teo. I give you credit for that. But 1, he's not an undefeated champion. There's a blueprint to beating Teo. But 2, you are leaving a lot of food on the table.
Every single division.
Every single division.
He says he's a 4-weight world champion, but when you look at in depth, you didn't actually beat the best in the division.
No, never.
Because for me, at 30, the fight.
You're not even having like high level title defenses.
At 30, he had some good fights. Valdez was a good fight.
Okay.
Herring was a good fight.
135? How long has he been a world champion at 135?
135, his best fights are Zepeda, which I don't really rate.
And then you're going up to fight Teo.
Teo's a great win. Teo's a great win.
100%. But then you're going to go back down and not fight the other guys at 135 again. So if you beat Teo, that's great.
I think his next fight, boy. I don't know.
This is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know.
The way that you're operating.
He won't at 30, 35. He won't fight Mason. At 40, he's not going to fight Keyshawn. At 47, he said he won't fight Devin unless Devin
This is like, I feel like the way he's operating, 147 feels too far for me, but it feels like he could beat Teo and go and get a fight with and go and fight Crocker and then go back down to 140. Do you know what I'm saying? That's exactly you knew what I was getting. That's the way. That's your MO. We've seen your MO. So if we see Oshaki Foster fight Lamont Roach or something like that, we might then see Oshaki Foster held in a higher regard than you. You might be like, why? I've got world titles at all these levels. Yeah, but you're picking the weakest world champions and then trying to move through the weight classes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, that you're doing it, and there's respect in that. But there's a lot of, if you retired tomorrow, do you know what I'm saying? You ain't cleared out no weight classes. You ain't. Do you know what I mean? If you're held in that level, by the way, because when we're looking at these names, Oshaki Foster's nowhere near mentioned in the same conversation as Shakur.
No.
Lamont Roach, nowhere near.
Nope.
Navarrete, nowhere near. Maybe a little bit more. Abdullah Mason, nowhere near. Murataya, nowhere near. Dalton Smith, nowhere near.
Tank would have.
Richardson Hitchens, nowhere near. Tank's the only one that would have. Do you know what I'm saying? Barrios, nowhere near. Romero, nowhere near. Then you've got Devin, obviously. And Crocker, nowhere near.
But he said he won't fight Devin.
I hear you, but I'm just saying across 4 weight classes, you're getting upset that you're not getting the money because you're looking up at Devin, at Teo, at Canelo, at Ryan. You're looking at their money.
At
Tank. I'm not talking about Tank no more. But you know what I'm saying, like,
no, but
but I'm saying across 3 weight classes, there's a lot of men that ain't even getting paid what you're getting paid.
Yeah.
But they're doing things the right way.
The reason why I mentioned Tank was because you are right. He is just going from division because he's chasing the right fights. He moved to 35 because in his mind, he believed he could beat Tank.
Yeah.
And then leapfrog himself up in. But for me, you clean out divisions, bro. That's what you do. You clean out divisions. Bam Rodriguez, Inoue, Usyk, Bivol. That's what you do. You clean out divisions.
You only move up when you can't clean out a division.
Facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? Again, we would allow you, if you say I'm in the same gym as Abdullah Mason where boys, I don't want to fight him, that's my guy. I would allow you if you fought
Murataya and Tank.
Tank's not going to fight. But do you know what I mean? But you tried. If you said, do you know what I mean? You know Devin and Eddie would be like, listen, we put paperwork. Here's the contract.
That's Bill.
Here's the we put paperwork. You didn't sign it. We tried. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't blame us. Blame them.
Yeah, facts.
I'm not even seeing you pursue these fights.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where it's like, okay, cool.
You know what's funny? Did you watch Bill? Because Bill Haney said the same thing. You watched Bill Haney on the boxing?
No.
Because he was like, He's like, what do you think of the winner of Shakur and like Teo? He's like, bro, the difference between Devin and Shakur is Shakur selects who he fights, but everybody around us we've actually sent a contract to. So the paperwork thing, when you said paperwork,
I didn't even know you said that. No, but no, facts. Shout out to Bill. But 100%, you've got this is the fight game. And I feel like in the ring and outside the ring, Shakur's a boxer, but not a fighter. Because you ain't even showing me fight outside the ring. You ain't even running me down. You know what I mean? It means something when I see Crawford go and run down Errol Spence.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? It means something. I still go back to the same video of the Charlo brothers when they bumped into
Danny Jacobs.
That tells me, because the body language...
I'm going to say Shannon Briggs.
No, that's going. It's going too far. Shannon Briggs going too far. I'm just gonna slow down. Do you know what I'm saying? But like these men are chatting so much shit. When they saw for me, this is just me. You know me, I'm a body language man. When they saw Danny Jacobs, their faces dropped.
That's why
they're in a whole entourage. There's two brothers, both world champions, with an entourage of 10, 15 man, and they see Danny Jacobs and their face drops. That makes me think I'm putting my house on Danny Jacobs now.
Yeah, fact.
Do you know what I'm
saying? That's why I don't rate Richardson Hitchens. That's why I don't rate Richardson Hitchens.
Yeah.
Because Richardson Hitchens, you were standing right there next to Teo, bro.
Buddy.
Buddy. But I'm like,
talking about Devin.
You two both got a belt at that weight class. This guy's not even at your weight, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I can't even rate that.
Yeah, them man. That's ridiculous. These men are making New York look terrible. This is what New York's on. New York used to be the mecca of boxing. This is what you man are on. It's the Haney's versus the world, bro.
Yeah, trust me.
Do you know what I'm saying? We already know that. Do you know what I'm saying? This is the longest we've gone before mentioning Haney.
Yeah, but you know what is the longest we've gone as well?
What?
It's the longest we've gone without mentioning how your team was fun.
I knew that was coming.
Honestly, bro, can I ask you a question? On a big and serious level, On a big and serious level.
Are we going to spar after this?
What happened?
Are we going to spar after this?
No.
I was asking, are we going to spar
not
after
today, but what happened? Like, levels, on that game, like, did you actually think you were going to win? Did you think you were going to win?
I did the match reaction. I said everything that I needed to say.
No, but I'm asking you a question. Do you think you're going to win?
Yes.
Like, bro, when
your guy, Dorgu, scored goal of the fucking season.
Wait, are you going to blame it on handball? Because I heard...
No, it's not handball. No, it's not handball. I said it in real time watching the live. It's not handball.
Like, bro, like we had to pull up on your block and you ran and left it, bro. You ran left your block.
Nah, we didn't, bro. We scored 2 goals. It was a hard.
It
was a hard fought 3-2. It was a hard fought 3-2.
You didn't score 2 goals.
It was a hard fought. It was a hard fought 3-2. It was a hard fought 3-2.
Wait, sorry.
It was a hard fought 3-2.
Sorry, bro.
Go on.
You still think you got a better attack than us? You still think you got a better attack than us?
Yeah, what?
You still think you got a better attack than us?
Your attack's overrated.
An attack that hasn't scored a goal in 13 games in open play. An attack. Your attack has not scored a goal in 13 games.
Your left back scored goal of the season, innit?
He scored, yeah.
He scored goal of the season. He scored goal of the season. Underside of the crossbar, unstoppable. Great goal. Shout him. Do you know what I mean? He's out for 10 weeks after that. He's out for 10 weeks? He's out for 10 weeks after that, bro. He's out for 2 months. He's out for 2 months after pulling his hamstring. Was it worth it?
He ran into the ground.
Was it worth it, bro? Do you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, bro. I'm in pain. I'm not going to lie.
It's peak, bro. Like, bro, levels,
it's the nature of how we lost. I worry about the team. You know, we say it every year, Arsenal mentality, whatever. But like a loss like that in that way, I don't even know if it would have been better to get slapped 3-0 and just go, it's a bad day at the office. Let's chalk it and move on.
Like, bro, I'm genuinely, like, for me, yeah, obviously I can banter you and all of that, yeah, because we actually beat you and we actually beat you comfortably in my eyes.
Not comfortably.
No, the reason I said comfortably is because other than the first 30 minutes, we were the better team. The first 30 minutes, we were under pressure.
Yeah.
And then I just looked at your team and I don't even know what happened.
They just lost belief.
I don't know what happened. And then when we went in the second half, I thought, cool, Arsenal are going to come out and play. Genuinely, you look void of ideas. Even when it got to 2-2, I thought, when it got to 2-2,
yeah.
I was like, yo, we're going to be under pressure. You just relinquished possession again.
We did. I think we've been really, really good at scoring between 45 and 60, and it was very, very impressive from Carrick. You guys came out in the second half, super on the front foot. We've scored tons of goals from open play, not even just set pieces, between 45 and 60. That is our danger. If you're beating us or we're drawing, it going into half time, we're comfortable because we know we've got this little period here. we're serious in that
Facts.
period. What? Man United came out and said, nah, brethren, nah. We ain't letting they must have known.
No, but there's that. But there's also the case of Arsenal are supposed to be, and I would actually be honest, Arsenal are a better team than us. So what I didn't like was the fact that Arsenal didn't try to show that they're a better team than us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be like, bro, we're better than you. You can try and come on the front foot. We'll fist you up. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't want to like take anything away. The only kind of, not excuses, the only thing I would say, we had 4 away games back to back in about 10 days.
So what's that supposed to mean?
A lot of fatigue. You man playing once a week, innit?
Yeah, we do.
So you got a whole week to study what we're doing. I mean, we've got to play you. We're playing in 2 weeks, playing you, Chelsea, Portsmouth, a lot of, champion Inter, all away from home. So a lot going on. Do you know what I'm saying? You man, it's got all week to just study.
Are you worried? Are you worried?
We're playing tonight. I'd have to see us play against Leeds.
No. Are you worried about the league? Because
I have to see us play against Leeds.
It's been 3 games and you ain't won a game in the league. I would be worried at the fact that I don't have a good attack. I told you this last week as well. Your attack is meaty, bro. I would be worried, bro.
I know why we didn't bring on Martinelli, man.
For me,
I don't know why.
And I'll be honest, yeah, I don't actually think it's the actual individuals, you know. I actually think the first 15 minutes of the game, bro, you look dynamic. Something happened psychologically, bro.
The belief ain't there.
But how can you get top of the league, fam?
I don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't know what it is. And we haven't really, even when we've drawn other games or we've dropped points in other games, we still look like the belief was there. I don't know what it is. That game was just horrible.
I still think Arsenal are going to win the league, yeah? But I think Arsenal's going to win the league because City's going to lose the league.
I hear what you're saying.
In the sense that
it's going to be a lot closer. It also is going to be a lot, even if we win the league, it's going to be a lot closer than it should be. For how bad City is, there's opportunities for Arsenal to run away. And we're not running away.
I think City will drop more points than you between now and the end of the season. I even said to my cousin, I actually think City might drop more points than we do between now and the end of the season. Like, they look shit as well, bro. They got no centre back. I know guys just signed Guy. But, bro, I would, if I was Arsenal, that is the first sign of mental fragility that I've seen in this.
And it's always at the same point in the season, bro. It's always at the same point in the season.
If it was a City from previous season, I said you're losing.
Yeah, they'd be gone. But this is the thing with us and where we're not. Even if we win the league, people will say you're not the level of the Cities or the Liverpools before. Which if we win the league, it don't matter.
Do you prioritise...
But what they're saying is facts. Because, again, Liverpool last season, the Prem wasn't great quality, but Liverpool were gone. Seasons before that, when the Premier League hasn't been great quality, Man City are gone.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I remember the season where Ole finished second.
Yeah, Arsenal can't get gone. We should be gone. Like, going into Feb and March, there should be 12, 15 points ahead. Instead, it's only 4 points, and we do it to ourselves. Whatever mental pressure the team is feeling when they go to play Leeds, of like, we have to, we're doing it to ourselves.
But is that a managerial thing though?
I don't know how it could be. The man are going to say it's managerial when I hear that, but we were the same under Wenger.
No, but the reason
Wenger obviously won three Prems. Don't get me wrong, but we were the same under Wenger.
But the reason why I say is it a managerial thing is because I feel like when you look at Arsenal, bro, I don't know. The United game showed me a lot when watching Arsenal. It's the first time I've ever watched Arsenal and I thought, no, this team actually is going to win the league, you know. The first 30 minutes, I'm like, yeah, this team's too good. Like, they're just too good. But obviously, we played City the week before, and I know it was at Old Trafford. But I'm like, bro, this team is too good. They're just too good. There's nothing, like, Cobby and Cass was running from place to place.
I don't know how we let them do that.
Bro, no, I'm talking about the first 30 minutes. You know, we're just dominating. And I'm like, bro, Arsenal are actually cold, you know. But then, mentally, you just gave up the ball. I don't even understand.
I feel like we're like...
That has to be a manager thing. That has to be a managerial thing,
I don't think it
bro.
is. The only reason I don't think it is, people are going to sound caping for Arteta. If people want to change manager if we don't win the league this season, I'm all for that. But we were the same under Emery. We were the same under the late Wenger years. So, do you know what I mean? There's nothing that makes me think that if we bring in Emery... Okay, there may be 1 or 2 people you could bring in. Okay, fine. If you bring in a Luis Enrique, he's creme de la creme.
Carlo Ancelotti.
If you bring in a Carlo Ancelotti, these guys like creme de la creme.
I think that's who you... If you don't win a league, you got to go get
maybe
Carlo.
We have to get someone that's got that experience of getting over the line and bring that experience into a team that's...
Well, it's going to be hard to get Carlo, innit? Because Carlo's at the World Cup, innit?
But whoever it is, it's got to be someone that has that experience. I mean, we've done the rebuilding job, and it may be like people have said before, Arteta's the guy, really before the guy. I would like Arteta to be the guy. I really, really like Arteta.
Do you prioritize one trophy this season? Is that when you?
We're two games. The Carabao. If Arteta doesn't win the Carabao, that is damning.
No, I was gonna say
we're 1-0 up against Chelsea, 3-2 against Chelsea. We've got the second leg to play, and then in the final, it looks like we'll play Man City, who are a very severely damaged Man City. We should have their number. So that's 2 games, really 1.5 games. That's 2 games away from a trophy. Do you know what I'm saying? The Prem, fine, you're 14 games away from a trophy. That feels like quite a distance. The Champions League, you're 12 games away from a trophy.
I feel like, let's say it's 4 points and we go into let's say you win the Carabao Cup, yeah? You win the Carabao Cup. That's not enough for Arsenal.
No.
But let's say we're in the last 7-8 games of the season and you're in like the quarterfinals of the Champs and you're in the Premier League 4 points ahead of City still. Do you prioritize a trophy, or do you go for it all?
I think you go for it all because the squad is there. This is a squad that's been built over 6 years. If this was Arsenal 3-4 seasons ago, then we have a conversation. We prioritize the squad's fin. It's not the manager's squad. Everyone there is there because the manager wants them to be there. The manager has so much confidence in this squad. In fact, he's let one of our best young attackers in Nwaneri go out on loan. So that tells me you have confidence that this team here can win the league. If you didn't have... No. If you were going to let players go out on loan, if we don't win the league because we were 5 goals short, well, you've let a very good goal scorer go on loan in the middle of the season.
No, but the reason why I asked you that question is because you said they have mental fragilities.
Yeah.
There's mental fragilities that's creeping in. If there is mental fragilities, bro, in my mind, I could be wrong, but in my mind, I'd be looking at it like, raw. Do I want to take on more mental pressure being in 2 competitions?
I think it's less mental pressure. First of all, I want to prioritize everything because I think winning is a habit. I think it's very difficult to say, let's go and lose on Wednesday, but then we'll turn it around and win on Sunday. I think that's very, very difficult to do. Winning is a habit. You just get into the habit of winning. You go into Champions League.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
The other thing is, it then becomes too much pressure because if you've got 2 games in the Champions League and 4 games in the Prem, and you say, right, fuck off the Champions League, just focus on these 4 games. There's more pressure in those 4 games. You're better off spreading the pressure out across 6 games than focusing all that pressure on one.
But there is a lot of mental fatigue doing it that way as well.
I hear you. But if you want to be champions, I don't think we're not good enough and we don't have the legacy. If we had the legacy of winning trophies, then you say this season we prioritize this season we prioritize that.
But if you look at Liverpool last season, you can clearly see, I'll give you a better example. You look at Liverpool the season that they won the league. When Klopp, the season before that, Klopp had won the Champions League against Spurs. And the season after, you can clearly see they prioritised the league.
Yeah.
And then last season, Slot prioritised the Premier League. You lot went far in the Champs, but they prioritised the league.
Their squad at those times were a lot thinner. When they were peak and they had Salah, Firmino, etc. Klopp is kind of not drowning in players, but their squad is a lot bigger. And they're not playing better. I know Wirtz has to get up to speed, if that's injured, etc. When they had Salah, Mane, Firmino, and it was them 3, they're prioritising because they've got a killer 3, and this has to be the killer 3. Yeah. When we talk about prioritising, I don't even know what that prioritising looks like from a squad perspective because we've got a bigger squad.
I think
that's why I'm not accepting it.
I think the prioritising comes from the fact that for me, if let's say you got Real Madrid in on the midweek game and you got City on the weekend. For me, that's a 6-pointer with City, but then you first leg Real Madrid, for example.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, bro, mentally, you're gonna go into the Real Madrid second leg after playing City and Real Madrid. You're gonna go into the City game in between Real Madrid. Or let's say Bayern Munich or whatever team that is. For me, I'm like, you're going to have to rotate players. What? At some stage, I think he's going to have to make a decision.
No, this is a Tunde Ajayi type of situation. As a manager, when you're playing football, you want a manager that believes that if we've got Real Madrid, City, Real Madrid, we should win all 3 of those games.
No, but your manager don't think that.
I'm just saying, that is where If he doesn't think that, I don't know, I'm not in the boardroom. We can only go by what we're seeing. If he doesn't think that, then we need Enrique or Carlo Ancelotti. Because we need a manager that gets to the last... we need a manager that...
It's not if.
No. It is if, because we're talking about this season.
No, but
we're talking about this season.
Let's look at this season.
Yeah.
Let's look at this season.
Yeah.
Let's look at the fact that this is a man who, when he... I don't know if it was the City game or the Liverpool game, and you literally just played the game with the handbrake up. Liverpool, definitely.
Yeah,
Liverpool, definitely. Yeah. And then...
We should have taken 6 points off Liverpool this season.
And then when you versed Liverpool both games, then when you versed us this game, for me, it was the first time I ever watched Arsenal this season, and I thought they would actually have been happy with a draw.
Yeah.
I don't
At
think,
home as well.
Yeah, I don't think any Premier League winning side is making that decision and then going into Real Madrid, and thinking they're gonna win every game. I don't think that.
Right, this is what I'm saying. I don't know. We're playing in Champions League tonight.
Maybe you might get an easy run to the Champions League final. You might.
Maybe easier because we're gonna finish the group top. So, and we'll have all away games in second leg all the way through now, the Champions League. So that will be a little bit of an advantage.
Second leg away games.
Second leg, yeah. So we're going to be at home first leg for every Champions League game. So that will give us some advantage.
I think that's even worse with the mindset of the
I hear you, but in terms of, we've only lost once at home all season.
No, but if you win a game, knowing Arteta, he's going into that second leg not trying to win it. Knowing Arteta.
I hear you, but if it's 1-0, then that's scary. But if it's 3-4, which in the Champions League we've done 4-1 against Bayern. So if we're slapping teams in the first leg, then we can go to most grounds around Europe and grind out an ugly 0-0 or even a 1-0.
I'm afraid more when it's the 1-0s.
Yeah,
I'm afraid
so am
more
I.
when it's the 1-0s.
So am I. Do you know what I mean?
Afraid, I'm not afraid.
Like the message is literally like the more you slap this team in the first leg, the more rest you're creating your own mental barrier. Do you know what I mean? Go out, the more goals you get, the more of a mental barrier you've got. Yeah. It's your responsibility to take that pressure and create that buffer for yourself, and that's what we failed to do.
I haven't seen many teams in your position before, you know. I haven't seen
this season or like 4 times back to back, about to 4-peat second.
Yeah. I haven't seen many teams in your
Only
position.
Arsenal, bro. Only Arsenal. Only Arsenal could actually do this. Honestly, only Arsenal could do this.
But yeah, man.
I'm not talking about this no more, bro. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
I'm saying.
Love for the. We're gonna be live for Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo.
We're live for Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. We're live for Nick Ball versus Figueroa. We're live for Wood versus Warrington. Actually, very, very excited for that fight. That fight's going to go off. Dope. The same night, we're going to be live for Garcia versus Barrios.
There's another good fight in February as well. I don't know what it is, though.
Yeah, all of them fights we're going to be live for. Do you mean obviously Tyson Fury's coming back? We're going to be live for that in April. All of the big fights.
Arsenal.
Obviously Arsenal as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Man United, these man don't even want to do lives. These men don't even want to do lives for their own channel. He was in the chat for the whole live. He's in the chat for the whole live. I'm going to report you to your manager. I'm going to report you to your manager, bro. Peace.